All right, this one will not be very long. Hopefully. Currently, part two of 2 days ago's video recording is uploading. I did not make it into the woods yesterday or the day before, so there will be no forthcoming footage of me in greenery at this time. The reason for that is mostly it's very buggy. Even on the days where it's not so bad on the lawn, once you get into the woods, it's fair game. So, I realized I had time when I woke up today that I could have gone into the woods and got some video or something, but then it's me going to work with a whole bunch of bug bites, and I didn't feel like dealing with that. And since I'm choosing to wait until I go into work and finish the upload that is uploading before uploading this will occur sequentially after the last one, which I have yet to go back and rewatch. And as such, the stream of consciousness came out. I said whatever I said. I probably will agree with it, but I haven't personally reviewed it yet. What spurred me to make this, though, that was like, nah, you should go ahead and record something. I was like, well, okay, so I've got a few things I can update on. But beside that, the founder and main writer, editor of Snopes admitted to plagiarism. Why is this a big deal? There is still a contingent of people that trust Snopes. Just like the people that don't know what acetaminophen is, they've never heard the word or don't know what it means. It's some funny Greek that they don't know how to pronounce, but they know what Tylenol is. People that you could say, do you have any adhesive bandages? They'll be like, a what? And you say a Band-Aid, and they say, oh yeah. Like when someone says, Google it, instead of search for information about it, use the internet and conduct a search. They say Google it. So Snopes is still somehow connected with fact checking. Fact check it. Well, Snopes fact checked it. Let's see what Snopes says. Why is it a big deal that it was plagiarized? Here's why. It's not the fact that the guy couldn't be bothered to write his own content. It has nothing really to do with, oh, what a prick, he's lazy. Nope. What it has to do with is where he plagiarized it from. If the so-called fact check is just taking without credit from other sources, and these other sources happen to be part of the propagation of the mainstream narrative, this fact checker is not only plagiarizing, but they are simply parroting. It's the clearest word. Repeating verbatim what other propaganda is saying and saying, see, this is the truth. That is why it is important that Snopes was caught plagiarizing. If there was a real reality, they could collect the facts, they could write up a little piece and say, here's what we have to say about it. And it really wouldn't be that difficult to come up with something. Rather, they took what other people were saying and just pasted it in. Which means playing along, collusion. That's why that's important. Some psycho in DC charged at the, well, he didn't charge at, he parked his vehicle, claimed to be one of five. Let's see where that's going, I guess. Australia has turned into a dystopian nightmare. China's acting like it's going to take a bunch of places. And apparently the Afghanistan botch is ongoing. What a terrible time. The Attorney General of the state of Arizona, you have to pardon me, I've got hairs bothering me in my nostrils. The Attorney General of Arizona has been pressing the respondents to a subpoena from the state Senate to complete their response. And they have sent a letter back within their deadline explaining that the deadline of the original subpoena, even though there was a second one, had expired, and that they didn't have the passwords that they claim were necessary to be able to conduct the initial inspections and audits that they claimed had validated the results. They simply didn't have those anyway, which means that either they're lying about that or they're lying about the results of the inspection. I would say it's more likely that they are lying about the results of the inspection. I've been thinking about this, and what's going to come, I believe, unless there is tricks up this state attorney general's sleeve to compel production of the required evidence to complete. Because what they need is an understanding of what went on electronically on the day of, as well as several days before and after. But I think, I'm not sure that they have the full signature database as well. I'm not sure. I haven't really heard that be mentioned. So maybe they got that. But the rumor right now is that and this might just be somebody circulating this so that people don't get their hopes up. I have no idea. But the rumor is currently that the final vote tally is not too far off from the original. However, this being an incomplete audit, if they had 100% of the forensics, I think they would be able to prove a significant portion of that is not correct and would invalidate many votes. However, this is going to come to some kind of stalemate argument unless this state attorney general has the means to compel production. But they also are apparently catching them in a lie, and this has been brought up once already of saying something to the effect of they caught themselves already. So I think that's kind of what we're looking at is with those passwords, and also possibly with the statements that they previously made in response to the subpoena that they couldn't. Initially I think they had said that the routers wouldn't have had an availability of any outside access anyway. Now they're saying that they pertain somehow to their criminal justice system through their local sheriff's department. How and why the election hardware is used in that is kind of, the question. So the thing is, though, the state attorney general is kind of the head honcho over the law enforcement, too. Having him involved in it means that he's probably going to have to go digging into their sheriff's department, and who knows what he's going to find there, too. Ultimately, I believe the real result from this, as far as realistic finding of shenanigans, is mostly going to be in the down ballot. I think they're going to have a lot of questionable ballots attempting to buff or otherwise fortify the numbers for certain candidates at certain down ballot positions or offices that those particular candidates are controlled by a hostile entity of some sort. in a business sense. And I think that will, the nature of it will blow, if that, they could open Pandora's box on what they've been doing. That's why they're fighting so hard. It has nothing whatsoever to do with Trump or Biden, even though I'm positive there's shenanigans there. The real meat and potatoes, the real show going on, is the one on the down ballot. Things like the sheriff being elected, the district and county judges being elected, those judges getting promoted to federal positions after so long. City government positions in large metros, powerful cities. These things, all the way up to gubernatorial and state legislature in some sense, but where they're really focusing right now is on these particular few levels of positions of enforcement. But the Attorney General is the one who is supposed to be able to have, of the state, is supposed to be able to have guidance over that, unless they're a federal court operating within the state. So, it's going to be a warm, possibly a little bit of rain here and there weekend. Hopefully things go well on the work front. I haven't checked the mail today, but I haven't received the quit claim yet on the property. I'm waiting patiently and anxiously at the same time. Work is nice when I just listen to music and don't have podcasts or current events things going, because I can just kind of zone out and do my job and not really think about what's going on in the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is a burning shit heap. And I try not to let it affect me, and I also hope that it does not affect the people that I'm going to interact with, because people that are in better moods are more likely to tip, and people who are scared and concerned over the world. And at the same time, it's horrifying to think how many people might be completely ignoring what's going on in the world at any level and just not even know what's going on. Or maybe they're lucky to be that way. I don't know. So I'm going to end it there. This will upload after the previous video has uploaded. The final thought on the current events. I believe the federal government honchos are still they're saying they're going to come out, but they haven't come out yet. And apparently the president is going to his home state because he hasn't been resting well in the White House. Gee, I wonder why.